Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach,
And I'm Pepper.
and we're back with another episode of Take My Money, where we look at some games that are on crowdfunding, mostly Kickstarter and GameFound. I think this week they're all on those two sites, and we just kind of give our thoughts on them. We don't dig into these too deeply, so we don't know the ins and outs of these games, but just look at them and see how excited we are for them. They look interesting at all to us. Uh, and yeah, just give our kind of initial thoughts of them, going through the pages a little bit and prices and all that good stuff. But let us know what you guys are currently backing or what you're looking forward to backing, or maybe if you're expecting some games to come anytime soon. I think I've got some that are supposed to come within the next couple months. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. But yeah, we will start off with this one, which I feel like Pepper's Thought has been available in the. I don't know. I think there's just been some kind of music themed games recently. A little bit of a sport of them, but they've never been the one that we'd been waiting for. Like I don't remember when they first announced this. Mike DeLisio and Dan Hughes. Mike DeLisio from the Dice Tower. Dan Hughes, I think, has been on the Dice Tower a couple times as well. But I think they also have a podcast or something they do together.
Yeah.
And Dan Hughes is the father of Cora, who did Cora Quest with no help from Dan Hughes at all. But yeah, these two made a game. They made a mixtape, is what they were making. So yeah, this one I don't remember when they brought it up. It feels like it's been years ago, but
It does.
doing decently well. 32,000, 1,300 backers. About 2 weeks to go.
Yeah. This one, yeah, I think it was Draft and Write Records because they had a promo card of Mike DeLisio for that game. It really confused me. That's all I could see. I imagined him on the cover of the game. And for some reason, I think some Comic Hunters or whatever game, for some reason, made me think that he made a comic themed game. I couldn't remember what it was, but it, of course, was Mixtape. And I like the theme initially. I guess are your thoughts on the theme?
Yeah, I think it's a good theme. Interesting theme, unique.
Yeah, I don't have much history with it, making
No, I don't either.
tapes. I know you made some custom like discs back in the day in your era, but all I do is really add them to a playlist.
Right, yeah. I did burn some CDs back in the day, but never a mixtape. Never had that. That was a little before my time. Uh, but yeah, this one looked interesting. It's definitely got that look to it. Like I think the vibe that they're going for. Uh, so yeah, I'm interested in this one just based on the theme, and then yeah, obviously the people involved probably push it a little bit more than if I didn't know who the people were. So that probably helps it a little bit. But yeah, it seems interesting at first glance. I
Yeah,
don't know how deep it will be, but
yeah, I'm not sure about that. I think it's should be a pretty quick game as it seems pretty simultaneous. Everyone's kind of cutting. It's I cut, you choose kind of drafting. Everyone does that, I think, simultaneously, which I think is pretty cool. Pretty simple. I cut, it's just three cards and you have a stack of two and a stack of one. But I think that's a good way to do that. And then you're just creating A side and B side to this tape, and you kind of want to balance them with length as well as making each kind of song leading into another one having a good flow with different symbols, or I think this tape here has to kind of connect to get you bonus points, as well as kind of you want a set collection of different genres, but not too chaotic and all over the place. So I thought it looked like a good handful of mechanisms.
mhm.
Yeah, maybe a little on the. I wouldn't have said simpler side. I guess this isn't a roll and write. I keep thinking of it as kind of a roll and write or flip and write, but it is not.
Yeah,
But
it does really seem like a flip and right game.
so I was gonna say, like, now that I've played Hadrian's Wall and stuff, I wouldn't. I would say this is on the simpler side of roll and writes, but it's not a roll and write. But um, I would say it's compared to all the games we have, definitely on the simpler side, but I don't know if I would say it's like the first. It could be one of the first games you play getting into the hobby based on what I've seen, but uh,
Mhm.
it does have enough there to where I'm not really hesitating to say that I think I would definitely want this in the collection at some point. It's not too simple to where I'm like, oh, I wish there's a little more. I think it has enough.
It's just because they quoted Frank West, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
That's really the only reason why you're like, I got to get this baby in the collection.
I mean, I love cats, baby. He never misses.
Never misses at all. Uh, yeah, I think I wouldn't mind adding this one to the collection. It seems like it's a reasonable price for what the game is. I guess I didn't actually see the shipping. They talked about shipping, trying to get it true.
Yeah. First time
Wow,
seeing Mike. I'm surprised they had color.
wow,
Uh, Shipping for one game is $4, and the
not
actual
bad.
price, I think they said, oh, they're dedicated to getting a good price, so $25 for a game there. So looks like just
25 and
one
4,
version,
29.
29.
Yeah, that's definitely not too bad.
It
I
is.
just saw estimated delivery of November 2025. This one doesn't feel like it should be one that should take
No.
a year to deliver, but maybe they're just hedging their bets, putting it out there. And if they deliver it in the summer, it just is like, wow, they delivered months in advance. But it seems to me like there's not too many pieces to this one, so I don't know
Yeah.
why
It's a lot of
take that long.
cards,
But
but yeah, I
yeah,
guess you gotta get things right. Come up with
that's
all
true.
those song titles to get in there, which ones people want, which is another fun thing about games like these, where you can see, I don't know if they'll use the actual titles or just kind of like a spin-off, a little pun version of them. It's always fun for me.
That's true. That's true.
Who knows if I'll even recognize any of that era.
I'm assuming they'll use the real ones. I guess
Oh
I don't know.
boy. And on to an actual roll and write, scratch and write, flip and write, all the and rights. This is trying to be the ultimate and write game. Tend, as in tending to your crops. $388,000, over 3,700 backers, and still 2 weeks to go. And this is from Ivy Studios. They're always coming up with these huge deluxe games, and they're always enticing, but I don't know if I've been as interested as I have been in this one, because I'm like, wait a minute, I could actually get behind this on a gameplay standpoint. A lot of theirs have been a lot of interaction and
Hmm.
maybe negotiating. I feel like there was at least one that had some of that. I was like, but this one,
Yeah,
I'm
I think
like,
well, I think I think it was the last one before this, Fractured Sky. I actually played that one, and I like that one quite a bit, actually. Um, so I think that's got me because yeah, I felt the same way about this one. A lot of what they have here made me very interested uh, right off the bat, and then when I realized it was them, I'm like, I was not sure if I'd like Fractured Sky or not. I thought it was a great production, but then sometimes that just hides meh game, or it might just be one I don't like. But the game itself ended up being way snappier than I thought it was going to be, and very clean. So
yeah.
that has me more excited about this one,
Well,
uh, or even more excited.
says it's the best of its genre, and that's just pretty much what I said, trying to be the best of this, and they might have handled it. I didn't want to go out and say these crazy things, but Tom says it there, so this is the granddaddy of Android.
Let's see if Frank West says anything about this one.
Uh, But yeah, so this one just looked like a bunch of awesome mini games in the game. Go fishing. You got these scratch off boards. If you run out, you can go get extras, or else there's kind of an app or a website that they have, so you can just play it endlessly with a randomized layouts.
Yeah, I
And
think that app it wouldn't be quite as fun, but I do like that option versus
yeah,
printing it off. I'd rather use the at that point if I did play it enough where I used everything up. I think that app it seems like it'd be a pretty good idea.
yes, yes. And something here that is very much needed in another of our games, the stamp pen here, which is kind of double-sided. You can just write things with the one end or stamp a particular shape, which they even mention it in the video, cartographers, for those that are not that great at drawing these icons. You can just use this stamp. And if it works, I mean, it looks pretty good there, better than I would draw. That works. I would be interested in that for cartographers. Even though we do just color in the space, it'd be a little nicer to actually have the icon on there, but
Maybe.
would you?
I'm fine just coloring in.
You're fine just coloring it in straight
Yeah.
up? Okay. That's fine then.
I think it just looks. It'll look a little. I don't know because I can't. I do not compare them. Obviously, I haven't been able to compare them, but I just think it'd be cleaner just having them colored in squares
Yeah, that could be.
versus the
Stamps can always be a
stamps
little.
possibly being not like equally on.
Yeah,
So
that's true. That's true. But yeah,
could look good still.
This seems pretty big, this one. Oh, so I got to keep track like of my pick of the week as we go through this because there's so many. So I'm gonna probably have
There are
to
way too many.
go one by one. It's
Oh
already
boy.
given Mixtape a run for its money. I'd say I'm actually probably maybe a little more interested in this one.
Yeah,
Oh, Joey
I'm probably
Evans.
pretty
Oh
interested in
my
this one too.
goodness. But
I
yes,
just the name of the game got me.
Tend.
I'm like, oh, this is a farming game. This is a farming game. It's got to be.
We've got a few farming games today. Oh my goodness, there are a lot. Where is just okay? So pledge
Pepper,
level.
we gotta hurry up. We got 21 games
Pledge
to go
level
through.
69 sweet dollars there for the 10 to pledge.
$100 value. Wow.
$99 for the deluxe. Includes some extra stuff. $129 for 10 super deluxe. And some more and some more. And shipping. Mouse is not working. It's not a good time. I just switched the battery and it's malfunctioning, not moving. I gotta use my touchscreen. Okay, so about $17 for shipping. That is looking for July. So this much bigger. Well, I guess not much bigger. It is still a rolling right. Gonna ship earlier than the mixtape.
Still a rolling right. Even though Mixtape was not a rolling right.
Oh my
This
goodness.
one, like the other, is still
a
a rolling.
jacket and a hat. Ooh, that's a nice hat.
It is a nice hat.
Okay, good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at the different levels there.
Yes.
That's very interesting.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Okay, I immediately saw this and I'm like, oh, that makes me think of Wonderland's War. And I'm like, well, of course, it's probably going to be a spin-off of it. It is from the same studio, whoever that is. Druid City Games. I don't recognize. I'm not a nerd who knows all these companies. I
think it's James Hudson's company.
Ooh, nice.
I think they also did Grim Forest.
Oh.
Abby's game.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Or a good looking one, at least. I don't think I have played it. No, I have not. Almost 3,000 backers, 175,000. It's Madcala. So a little pun there, twist on Mancala and being mad, Mad Hatter, all that stuff in this kind of theme that I don't care about whatsoever. All this stuff, tea parties.
I like this theme. I think I really like Wonderland's War and I like the art and all that stuff in it. So I don't mind it being in this one. I mean, it's not. Maybe if it wasn't a Wonderland's War and this was just brand new, it probably wouldn't win me over. Then
that's true.
I think just the fact that it comes from a game.
It does help being from that because I did like that game quite a bit. It's a bit big, and I think we are the only two that like it, so we have not added it to our collection. We will have a chance with this. But
yes, I saw that.
That's a side thing here. This game, I like Mancala. I don't know if it felt. I mean, after 5 tribes, any Mancala element is going to, unless it's the greatest thing of all time, is going to feel a little disappointing. This just felt a little simpler. I'm like, where are all the different colored meeples and with all the unique effects? This more just goes to a space on there that kind of has an action, which I guess it can work. It's a good mechanism and keeps things simple, I guess. And it looks nice. But
yeah, I wasn't sure what I thought of this one because when I saw that it had Mancala, I was like, okay. I've always because I love 5 tribes. I've been just waiting for more games to have a really solid use of it. I don't know if anything will ever beat 5 tribes for me, for that mechanism anyway. And when I was looking at it, I was like, it's fine. It probably could be good. It's one that I would want to try at some point, but I don't know that I would back it. It didn't have anything that like hooked me. Like, wow, that's a really really cool way of doing that or using that, but it wasn't bad either. Just kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
But with a lot of the options this week, it had a lot of competition.
Yeah. So $12 shipping, only 45. I think it's just kind of one version of it. $45. You can add on different things, obviously, as well as the original Wonderland's War for 149. Deluxe, a little much. Probably not going to be pulling the trigger on that today. That is looking for October, so a year out. But should be good components. They were pretty fantastic in Wonderlands.
Yes, it was a very good production.
Speaking of a good production and a game that we own, I forgot to put it next to me so I can pull it up here. Tikal Legend, 25th anniversary. Of course, I finally pulled the trigger on Tikal. And under a year later, they're like, we got a new edition for you.
Usually how it works.
That is exactly how you get Bruce Lee, and they're like, we're bringing Bruce Lee back. They said it would never happen. Unmatched has done it.
And I just saw today someone was selling I think a Cobble and Fog used Cobble and Fog set and said it has Bruce Lee in it and the Raptors set in it as well, and they were selling it for $40 total. I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, that's probably still a really good deal, but
You just
I
got,
was just like,
you
wow.
got a second set of Raptors too, didn't you?
I did.
Oh my goodness. Goon.
If I could go get that and have a second Bruce Lee and a third set of Raptors. To have 9 Raptors on the board.
Just confess you did it.
If I lived closer to who was selling it, maybe.
But that aside, unmatched aside, we can't help ourselves talking about unmatched. 700 backers, almost $100,000. I really like this game. I loved Cusco in the series, especially the Super Meeple version. They have these awesome temples in both of the games, and they just look amazing on the board at the end of the game as everything's built out and explored. Looks fantastic. And so I loved Cusco, got Tikal, even though like it's probably pretty similar, and I will say you probably don't need both. They do deliver a pretty similar experience, but either one of them I would absolutely love. I don't know that I don't think this improves the production enough.
I don't think so.
To justify it. Just maybe a little different artwork, maybe some lake tiles. I don't think there were those in the game, and the stepping stones are gold now. But otherwise, it seems about the same, other than these extra boards, which is the big thing, would be gameplay changes with whatever these are, market and hand tiles. I don't know what hand terrain tiles are, but something a little, yes, a little John Cena action in there. So that is the only part that I'm more interested in is additional gameplay things and the solo, which sounds like the solo they have a version for the older version as well. So I might try to hunt that down somewhere, but I don't think I would go and back this whole new pledge just to get that and maybe a couple little modules kind of added to the base game. But
yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. When I heard solo or whatever, I was like, oh, Pepper might be interested in that. But otherwise, I was like, yeah, it looks pretty good, but I don't know that it's worth. I mean, if you've already got a copy of the original,
yeah,
it's already a pretty decent, pretty good quality game.
Yeah.
So obviously, this does bring it up another level on top of that. So I mean, it's a game you really, really love.
Yeah.
You know, it's a top 10 game for you, sure. I think then maybe it's worth getting this. So like you said, you get all those kind of maybe little extra things, little, I don't know, module things possibly that they have them in here and stuff. But otherwise, yeah. It's a good production. I like the game. Just like you said, solid game. Similar to Cusco, which I wouldn't be surprised if eventually they make a legendary version of that one as well.
Yeah.
Just a guess.
Yeah. Wow. But all the different score for volcanoes and forests and lakes. My goodness, the depth. Which is just pretty much the same thing copied and pasted to new different terrain types.
Exactly.
Possibly. I don't know. I haven't looked too close into it, but so that base version will be $97, which does not come with miniatures for your people, or you can bump it up and for your tents and stuff to $162, which is a lot. So that definitely puts it out of range for me and what I'm willing to spend. And I actually think that the miniatures would be they're a little smaller, at least in our version. I feel like that'd be hard to get those to stand up and just
Yeah,
kind of more of a hassle where I think the meeple just works a lot better for how they're used in Tikal.
I agree. I was wondering that myself. I was like, those kind of look a little bit different, bigger than I would have thought. And then yeah, with that shipping of 31 to
$30.
$35 as well.
It's
And then
almost like,
yeah, February 2026.
oh my goodness.
I think all those factors
Yeah.
isn't my first choice, but
Yeah.
it looks like it's a good production.
That's like $200 in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Who knows how long it'll take, but it
Hmm.
is. Maybe you'll be able to get a cheap version of the previous version now that this is out. So I do
That's true.
recommend the game.
That's true.
Okay. And on to a Fabled. You can lead this one. I did not. Well, I did look at it a little more, but initially
Yeah.
I wasn't that interested just based on the look and name of it.
I kind of like the name and look. Fabled the Spirit Lands plus expansion. This one's just barely over its goal of $10,000 with 250 backers, 4 days to go. Yeah, the gameplay on this one, I wasn't fully sure on. But yeah, just I don't know, the components and artwork and stuff were something that I seem to like. Good components in there. Um, I don't know. Something about this one too just kind of felt a little bit like, is it kind of one of those games that would get in my collection? I'd give it a 7 kind of score where it's going to get played every now and then, every few years. Uh, I don't know, but yeah, was this the one? We had so many of them. Was this the one where you're like flipping over these cards and they got like paths on them and stuff?
Yes, that was this
Yeah,
one. So you're kind of
yeah,
building it out and moving along them, and
yeah. I thought that seemed kind of interesting, especially yeah with all those 100 cards. Uh, I I thought that looked pretty cool, but yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, if it was going to be something that had like a hook to it that felt really different than anything else.
yeah, I did like the look of the paths and kind of how you're adding to either end and moving along there, but I mean, it can look cool, but I don't know if I did, like you said, you're kind of trading books in as well, to buy things or activate things, and it looked halfway interesting to me. I this is one that I definitely want to try. It had at least
Mhm.
that much interest for me, but not anything in it that made me think I'll buy this before trying it.
Oh, right. Yeah, and yeah, I think with kind of those paths and stuff, it's probably not the same, but it made me think of that Hamlet game, and I
Oh.
have a copy of that, and I still have to buy that. And I don't think it's the same, but for some reason in my head, it made me think of that a little bit, just with kind of the weird whatever there. But I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, the so if you just want the expansions, that'll be $20. The full set would be $49. So yeah, I remember this one price surprised me that you got a core game and some
That,
expansion content for under $50.
that does seem like a pretty solid price.
And the shipping would be based on what you get. Even if you get the full set, that'll be $10. So a couple really well priced. Maybe not well for the company, but well for the buyer. Well priced
Yeah,
game.
that's true. That's definitely a solid thing. It makes me, I don't know. I'd maybe have to look into this one more and see, because I'm assuming the original game has been out for a while. See if there's like some reviews on this one. Uh, but I'm kind of surprised with that pricing, especially these days, that it's only at just a little under 11,000.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I think it looks better than that, than
Yeah,
250
for
backers
sure.
and
For
11,000,
sure.
especially for the price.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. People don't know what they got here. They don't know. Boy, Sibille. I don't know what the heck to call it.
I
It's
wasn't
very.
really sure either. I'm like, oh boy,
I
I don't
shouldn't
want
give
to
it
even
the.
attempt to say this.
I shouldn't give it the Italian pasta meal treatment. A
Uh,
terrible board game. So this one, 331 backers, $25,000. Only 27 hours to go. Why did we even include this? This will be gone by the time this is even posted. Okay, it'll have like 12 hours left, but
So hurry up.
so hurry up and get it, or I assume there'll be a late pledge.
Most
Most
have
do,
it.
but of course, this will make us look a fool and won't have it. So we're very sorry. But yeah, this one looked pretty simple with the cards, except kind of the main thing that was drawing me into this is just kind of a prediction that you're making of what cards other people are going to play. I don't know if this is a person's hand of cards, because I'm like, to
That's
be
what
able
I
to
was gonna.
predict, you have to have the same cards. So I'm like, that
Right.
must be someone's hand of cards, which means it looks almost impossible to even get any right that they are going to play.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, how easy is it to predict that? I don't know. Because yeah, I saw that huge hand of what it looks like a hand of cards. I was just like, okay, that's a lot of cards there, but I don't know. Maybe there were duplicates and stuff in the hand there. I don't know.
Yeah. So it could be. But yeah, if you predict, they kind of reveal what cards they played, and for each one that you do correctly uh, predict that they will have, you get a gem, which pretty much lets you upgrade the actions that you choose to take and get a better version of them, which look pretty cool. I guess I don't know what you do with the actions. I think you're kind of fulfilling orders and giving people what they want and scoring points, which didn't seem overly intriguing for me. There's so many games, but
Hmm.
that prediction part was the most interesting. I don't think it's enough to go in on the game. It'll be about $54 for the base version. Upgrade it to various versions, get some all-in packs. I think they have some clear cards, so you can take your own tarot cards, your favorite set, and just put this overlay on it and play the game with them. That's pretty cool idea.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But
I did not see that before, but yeah, that's pretty cool. But
yeah.
yeah, this one I was thinking kind of the similar. I was like, yeah, I guess maybe if that part was interesting, I couldn't really tell how interesting that was going to be, guessing or predicting what they were playing, if that would be something you could easily predict or not, and
Oh,
if that would actually, if you did do it, if it would feel satisfying. I feel
oh,
like there's that fine line of making it too hard and too easy,
yeah, where it's
and
like,
whether or not
oh,
that feels, yeah, satisfying.
obviously, the only way I can get it this wrong is if they intentionally choose a lesser card for themselves.
Right.
Yeah, another 20, 25 to 30 bucks in shipping and
Yeah. I think the artwork looks good.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, why? Stefan Feld. You've
City.
grown to be quite the big Stefan Feld fan over the past few years.
Yes. And you might want to go check out our top 10 games of all time. Go check out what might be on the top of my list. But it's neither of these games. But this is doing quite well. 233,871 backers, a week to go. And I think this is just something Queen Games has done. They've doing this city series of Stefan Feld. And I think a lot of people are very not happy with the pricing of things, but I think other people have said that the production's done in Germany, so they're like, well, now you get to see what the cost of production is if you don't make things in China. So I guess this is a good example of what things would cost if you uh, produce them somewhere else.
Good
I
old
guess
lesson campaign.
exactly. They're just that's what they do. They're just like, okay, we got to teach these people a lesson again with these Steffenfeld games. But yeah, I think what one of these redoes Strasbourg because I think these city
Yes.
games have been a mix of brand new Steffenfeld
Yeah.
games and then going back to ones that have been out of print.
Yes, I believe this is the new one. The old chickenista. That's
Chicken Itzá.
what I'll call it.
I really like the look of this one.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
too
really
is
know
good.
what's happening, but I
I
like
just
the
love
look a
it.
lot.
And kind of an action selection, which obviously all the screen printed wooden pieces in the deluxe version. I think they are plain in the regular version.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the gameplay looked pretty cool. Kind of like you're choosing spots on this board. The first one to go to a spot gets the lesser cost. The second one to go pays the higher cost. Although I think those are tokens that you hold, and not actually coins, maybe, because I think I saw some of those tokens before. You
Mhm.
upgrade some combat stats, and then when you do finally battle, the monsters kind of go out on this map and battle them, or the spirits, or whatever they are. Then there's kind of like I forget. You can play magic cards phase, and then you have an archery phase, and then you have like 3 rounds of melee fighting. And I'm like, that seemed kind of cool. Kind of makes me think of After the Empire, where it has multiple phases to combat. So that was somewhat intriguing to me.
Mhm. Yeah, I guess yeah. This one I must not have looked at the actual gameplay too much, but that sounds really interesting. And yeah, I've just kind of been on a kick of wanting to try more Stefan Feld games. But yeah, these I've looked at some of the other city ones just to see how much, and they're a little spendy. But yeah, is this one the Strasbourg one then?
Yes, so that would be
I haven't
Valencia,
played.
which I
Yes.
don't think it really showed much on like gameplay, graphics and explanation on this one, so I didn't even look it up. I knew kind of my interest level on that first one was decently high, probably not enough to back it. What is the price? So if you want classic Valencia, that'll be $54. Deluxe Valencia, 85. Classic Chichén is going to be 86, and both of them, classic 136, deluxe Chichén is going to be $151.
Yeah, that's
Like,
why I didn't want to get. Probably why I didn't look as much as deep into it because I'm like, I know it's gonna be expensive. I know that's gonna be expensive, and the shipping and stuff, especially. I mean, it's almost $200 for.
yeah,
It's probably a great game. It just is tough. It is tough,
you'd want those screen printed meeples. They look so amazing. So
right?
I just don't think I'd want to play it without them. So
Right.
sad. It's a sad, sad day for us. But
We will play these. If anyone wants to send us any copies of any of these
yes, we will
city
play.
games by Stefan Feld or whatever, reach out to us in the comments.
Send us the entire
we'd
Stefan
love
Feld collection.
Stefan Feld's watching this. And you have any power to send us these. We'll
Come
review them
on,
all.
come on, Steph. Good bud. Oh boy. Can we sneak another one in here before Zoom cuts us off in this first half? Root
Yes, we can.
expansion. I didn't look at it at all. I assumed you had it covered.
I got it covered. It's doing very, very well. 1.6 million almost. 18,000 people. People are still loving Root that much. A little under 2 weeks to go. I thought, I don't know, maybe I misunderstood. I thought the last one was going to be like the last campaign to it. But I guess they're not done yet. And I don't think they're even done after this at this point. But yeah, this is, I think, 3 new factions that you can play as, and then like some more vagabond characters. Uh, I didn't look too closely at what the characters all did, just because Root has been I don't know what to call it,
It,
something in our collection.
it is.
I've gotten a lot of the when you saw that huge set of you get all of it for like 250 or 350, whatever it was. Uh, we've got a lot of this Root stuff outside of
You still
obviously
have
this
it?
brand new stuff. I still currently have it, but it's been going back and forth on whether or not it gets put on the sale shelf. So yeah, I'm sure this is good for people that play Root a lot, and I'm sure there are people out there. There has to be with how many people are buying this, and I'm sure some of them are also just getting into Root. It's a great way, I guess, to get all the different stuff. I think it's pretty readily available out there. Most things, maybe not all the boxes, but
Yeah.
probably a good way to get those ones that you can't or haven't been able to get your hands on.
Yeah.
Looks like some more interesting characters. Probably doing some unique things, which is the good thing about Root, and is also the negative about Root, that you kind of have to be able to teach everyone at the table how to play these different characters, and it's whether or not you want to have good knowledge of those characters as well as you're playing your own character. It's just a very difficult one to get to
Yeah.
the table unless you have a group that really puts some time into the game. I think.
Yeah. So best way to play it, everyone download the app, get a bunch of plays in yourself, and hit the table together.
It's true.
You do. But yeah.
Yeah, I like the frog character. I feel like they should have already had a frog, so I don't know.
They should have. But yeah, build your own pledge. Choose whatever expansions you want in base game in this one.
It is a good game.
Chance. My goodness, I'm just noticing these creatures in this logo. I have never noticed that before. Has that always been there?
I didn't know. I didn't notice that either. That must have always been there. Wow. Wow.
Oh boy, and then we've got one of these with 4 games. We're going to whip through it. It's going to be about 5 seconds apiece. Okay, a little more than it's already been about 5 seconds now. 2,200 backers, 133,000. Ruins, Oddland, Vegas Strip, and Money
Money.
from All Play. And there's small series of games, which they have a bunch of those that you can actually get all of them in a pledge level. All of those games right there for $500, which I don't think we're going to go in on that today.
I don't think so.
These ones, some of them we have played Sail. I don't know if you played any other ones, but I'm interested in some of them based on their theme, some of them based on designer or mechanism, and there's usually like one per set that like I'm really interested in, or they all look cool, but it's usually only one that like's really pulling at me to actually add it to the collection, and I would say that one this time is going to be Ruins, which is I should have known when they said there's these card crafting system and transparent cards. It is designed by John, I do declare, and he is known for that with, I was going to say Space Base, his only game without that mechanism. Mystic Veil and Dead Reckoning and a few others, Edge of Darkness or whatever that one is. But I feel like
this one's got darkness.
nothing. Yes, it's even darker. This one, I hope, captures the simplicity because it's a small game and kind of capture just a simple game with that mechanism, like I think Mystic Veil did perfectly, instead of going bigger and more complicated to where it kind of kills the fun of the clever mechanism. Or at least I worry it does. I haven't actually played those big games. I shouldn't have an opinion on them.
You'll have to see if that happens or not. Yeah, this one looks interesting. I think whenever he uses that card crafting system that he uses, I think that always has catches my attention. I'm always interested in seeing how that will actually play out. And I'll agree with you. I'm guessing these would be hit and miss. A lot of these all play games, but I think several of these are on Board Game Arena, and I would like to try a few more of them just to see. But yeah, $500 for all of them, maybe a bit much, but maybe you can kind of choose the ones that look most interesting to you. But yeah, most of the time, I think these look at least decent. They're like games. Like if I, went to some convention or something and they had an all play booth and they're showing all these games, I feel like I would be more than willing to, try all of them. Yeah. They look interesting enough. Just a matter of would I like any enough that it's like, oh, I want to play this, own this. I don't know if I'd say that.
Yeah, just go to a convention and play 30 little all play games. Yeah, I do like
all play.
When all play all day. I like how they kind of, if you get all 4 of them, you get little mini expansions and kind of deluxe upgrades thrown in for free. I never trust, thrown in for free. I'm like, you're making up that money somewhere. You gotta be. Yeah, we got a Reiner Knizia classic re-implemented in this one. They usually seem to have a Reiner Knizia game in these 4 game sets, it seems like.
Yeah, that's who you go to fill some of these things out. So he's probably got 7 to 8 games made that day, so they're just waiting for someone to publish them. But yeah, all play. If you're watching this, if you want us to do an all play all day, we've never done any live streaming, but
yeah, I mean,
you send us all these games, we'll have an all day. It might be an all weekend.
Projects on our hands with all these Feld games and only $4 shipping, even if you go all in on the 24 games.
Wow.
pretty good.
It was
Yeah,
pretty good.
$76 for all four, other than like $20 for a single one.
Hmm.
Pretty good. Oh boy, Raising Robots. Friends expansion. I don't think it's the television series Friends. I don't think they paired up here with whatever this. What is this
But they
company?
might have.
Navu, whatever they are. Game.
Navu Games. Yeah, this one's doing pretty well. Almost 2,000 backers, $80,000, which seems like a lot of backers for the amount of money there. I don't know. Maybe it must be pretty affordable. And yeah, I think this one was one that was pretty hot last year. A lot of people were liking this one. I think it's a bit of an engine buildy type game, which is what I would typically think of whenever I'm thinking robots. That, or I'm thinking, uh, I'm blanking on the mechanic, Mechs vs. Minions. What is that?
Programming.
Programming. I was thinking automating, but that wasn't quite right. But programming. That's kind of what my first thoughts when I see robots, when you mention those in a game.
Yeah, so
Uh,
a lot of praise here, as you can see from some unknown people in the gaming sphere. Jamie Stegmaier, I mean, who is that? Board Game Co., Dice Tower, what? I don't know where they found these guys. But yeah, a lot of people seem to like this, but it definitely says somewhere here an advanced game. So this is pretty complicated, a lot going on. It does look pretty busy. It looks beautiful, but it also looks like a lot of symbols
it
on
is
every card.
weird how, like, yeah, the artwork and stuff looks really nice and kind of almost kind of lures you into an approachable thing, but then you actually see they've got it out on the table and stuff, and it's like, whoa, this looks like a lot. This looks like Predator or something. A lot going on here. A lot to manage. Yeah, but yeah, I think this is one that I'm hoping to play at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe not the expansion, but the base game. Just to give it a go, see if it's one that I end up enjoying quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does make me think it's probably just a very Euro style game. It's maybe a nice kind of fun theme, fun
Yeah.
artwork and stuff on it.
So the all in everything ever is only $89 here. You get that. So that
It's not too bad.
pretty good. Shipping is going to be also not too bad either.
Yeah, we've had some decent shipping rates here.
Coming down, it's coming back. Back to earth.
Yeah, it seems like the last few times we've been doing it, it's in the $20-$30 for sure, like every project. So it's nice to see a few of them getting a little bit lower.
Yes. Oh boy. Mutagen. Which this one
Look at that artwork, Pepper. Look at that artwork.
we've got. I assume the Miko. It's giving me Miko vibes. I assume it's the Miko, and I'm like, well,
I think
we
it's the
gotta
Miko.
cover this one. I think there was another Miko that did not make the cut on this week. I was more interested in this one. I'm like, oh, it's good because it's good artwork, but then it just feels weird not being a Garfield game. I don't know what to think of it.
I know. Now because we had the Nova Roma, now I'm like, well, okay, it's not a Garfield game, but it must be a Half a Kingdom game. Nope, it's not that either.
It is a Granda Games game.
40,000.
614,
Doing well.
almost 2 weeks to go. This one, I mean, other than obviously thinking, oh, okay, Miko artwork this must be good. And then I saw these meeples, and then I looked down, and I saw that they had accessories, mutation.
Infinity Gauntlets.
Yes, Infinity Gauntlets, Wolverine claws added to their hands. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I love this. I was giddy. I was jumping out of my seat in excitement watching this video as they put it on. I'll do it myself, they were saying. And I got.
That was a missed opportunity. They should have said that.
They should have said it. Jeez, come on, man. But yeah, this one. That's the draw for me is those maples, which is the stupidest thing to be drawn in to pay a ton of money for something is just
Right.
a little maple with a glove. But I'm
Shallow gamer.
no shame, no shame. I'm a shallow gamer.
I agree. I thought that was very cool. But just in general, even without those, they were already, I believe, unique workers
Yep.
that kind of made me think of if you've ever played Anachrony, where there's different
Oh,
worker types, and if they go to specific actions, some only certain ones can go to specific actions, but sometimes if you do a certain one, it'll kind of get a little bit of a bonus benefit type thing. Uh, it sounded like that was pretty similar in this one, just
yeah.
without their enhancements, their Wolverine claws. Uh, I think they still got the kind of specialties for going to certain actions, and I really love the idea of unique workers doing kind of special things. So I was already sold on that, but then yeah, you start adding those. And I'm a bit of a shallow gamer myself. Very good production. I like the artwork.
Yeah,
Feels
so
like this one could be quite good game.
yeah. I totally agree with the unique workers and all of that. So $46 for the base pledge. You can look a little closer to see what's exactly in there. Looks like the attachments that we are in love with will be in the Mutagen pledge for $59, which isn't that bad because it looked like a
No.
lot of good components. And you can upgrade it to $103 and get some nice skipping rocks for the pond and a neoprene mat, which you can also throw in the pond. Or not.
I just hate neoprene mats. That should just to me that should always just be an add-on.
Yes.
Don't add it in pledges. We just aren't. We just are not the biggest fans of neoprene
No.
mats, just because mainly because of storage.
Yes.
If they would easily just go into the box and be fine, sure. But that is not the case 90 some percent of the time.
Yes. Okay. And shipping will be pretty good as well. My goodness. 8 to $12. I don't know
What is
what's
going
going
on
on,
here?
but I am
Things
happy
are a changing.
I ain't gonna. Oh my God, look at that guy. So
Pepper,
cute.
you finally got I think you have all the things you pledged for. You finally received
I do.
your longest outstanding one.
I
You're
got
due. You gotta
monumental.
find the next thing.
And I actually got the neoprene mats with that one. So, oops. But yeah, I got to find something else to be waiting on for 5 years. Will
So
it be
anyway,
this
let us know
one?
in the comments which ones you don't want him to pick, guys, because he's very good at picking ones that'll take
Yep.
5 years to maybe a decade to deliver. So if you don't want that to be your game, you better leave a comment below. Don't back this, Pepper.
The wheel to curse a certain game. But this one already exists. I think it's already an existing game, and is an expansion, I believe. And this game is on Board Game Arena. I just added it to my to playlist on there. Harvest Fall Festival Golden Edition. 2,000 backers, $77,000, and a week to go. Did I read something wrong here?
No, no, no. It's just the fact that I told you I wanted to play Harvest long ago, and you
I don't
were
remember
not
that.
interested. And now I hear I added it to my to playlist. This guy, I knew it. I knew he'd be interested in it. He just acted like he wasn't.
I did. Skip Woosnam just introduced me to this greatest thing, this wedge salad, Claire. And I take all the suggestions from him and not you.
Oh boy, Modern
Comment below
Family
if you
reference.
know what that's from. Oh, he's spoiled.
Oh, spoils. Which
Spoiled.
episode?
Yes.
I'm sure Pepper knows the episode name.
Yeah. So sorry that I did not listen to you when you suggested it, but it looked pretty cool. People calling it the definitive farming game or something like that, and that's how I'm quoting them. This one looked cool. It did make me feel a little bit of viticulture, and that's kind of one of our favorite farming games. How you're planting the seeds, getting the seeds, planting them here, pending them. You got 10. 10 came up in like 5 of these games we were looking at and harvesting them. So I thought it looked good. It's got some great components, great artwork, some custom wheelbarrow meeples. But yeah,
I didn't originally look at those. I thought those were goats.
peace. Or goats. Or goats.
It looked like they had their heads down, eating some grass.
Yeah, it does.
Obviously, now I can see there's a wheel there.
Yes.
Their leg is not a wheel, but okay. Sorry.
But yeah, so big fan you. What do you think of this? Is it drawing you in to make a purchase?
Well, I think I still would like to try it first since I do have that option. I believe I could be wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of a different game, but I believe I've been to Barnes and Noble recently. I thought they had Harvest available, so I'd like to try it on Board Game Arena first, see if it's one that I think is worth adding to the collection. Just
Yeah.
because, oh boy, I need to find some room, make some room in the collection.
If you want to
Don't
donate
add too
another
many.
Calyx cube, Calyx shell, or maybe
There
a
we go.
new.
IKEA, if you're watching this,
Nah,
sponsored by IKEA.
they'll take it. But yeah, $90 for that base version, which is what would go in on a little more if you get expansions or add-ons and shipping as well. Another one, and under $20. So
Yeah,
yeah, pretty good.
yeah, I'm
Interesting.
definitely interested in this. I really want to try it first, but it looks like it should be one I'll really like. But
Yeah.
gotta try it first.
Yes, try before you buy. We might have to do one of those.
Let us know if you're watching at this point and you want to see a try before you buy episode where
Yes,
we play through a game of it.
yeah, we're good. We're getting through these. We're getting through these. I'm sure everyone's here with us still. And for
I know
the
they are. Comment
Holiday
below.
Hijinks Master Detective Collection. Delightful. 18 card. Escape rooms. Not gonna finish that. It takes too long. Almost 1,000 backers. $58,000. And these are escape rooms that are themed around holidays. And they're 18 card escape rooms. I don't have any experience with this, but it was said that you don't actually destroy the components in these escape room games, which you do in some of those. But I have most experience with the Exit series of games, and those are not replayable because you are cutting things up and bending them, drawing on them. But that is not the case here. Will that remove some of the fun? I don't know. You'll have to tell me if you have played any of these, but I like the idea of just anytime. I don't know why 18 is always the number for these small games, but they always have 18 cards, and it's always intriguing to me how they're going to make a game out of that. And in this, how are you going to make a exit or an escape room game out of it? I forget, did this one have QR codes to kind of add apps into it?
I do not
Oh,
remember.
yes,
Oh, it
it
looks like it
looks
did.
like they do. So a bit of a cheat there if you
That helps a little bit.
that
But yeah, I don't know if it's something with like printing games. If 18 is like the amount,
the sheet.
maybe
Yeah.
that's all I can think about. Yeah, maybe like the sheet amount is 18 cards. I don't know. Let us know in the comments below if you know. But yeah, I think I'm on the mailing list for Grand Gamers Guild. I feel like this is like every month or however many, maybe it's every few months. It feels like it's every month where they're announcing one of these, like, oh, we got this new one for whichever holiday, whatnot. And I've always been kind of interested, but at the same time, I was like, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be strong enough to stand on its own. Um, but I think it's an interesting idea. I like the idea of having them be holiday themed, and then the fact that you don't have to destroy them, so you could gift them for a holiday to someone else to play. So I like that idea quite a bit, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd pull the trigger or not.
Yeah, so
But
you
they
can
make a lot of good games, so they could be really good.
yeah. So you can get a single game for 11 or three of them in a storage box for 36, which will fit all your previous ones, or all 12 of them that they had for 69 bucks. So I think that's probably the best deal.
I think that's what I
Out
would do.
of-
I mean, if I was going to start at this point, I'd probably just go all in because
yeah.
I don't know which one would be best out
Yeah.
of I could go for one based on a specific holiday, I guess, but
Yeah. Yeah, but
I
that'd
don't
be fun at this point now that they have all of those, just to maybe get it now and then through 2025. I guess when is this shipping? November 2025. Get it now, and then for 2026, go through all 12 of
Please,
them.
God, deliver. Make that date, or at the worst, make a December 25 date, so
Yeah,
that someone the next year. I guess there's a New Year one, so you got to get it there by
gotta get it there.
before New Year's, so that they can start with that one.
Play them
That
all
would be
on the.
pretty cool.
That'd be
That
pretty
would be
cool.
pretty cool.
Yes. Then you'd realize just how spread out the holidays are. They'd probably just be all packed at the end of the year, and you'd just be
That is
waiting.
true. It does feel like it's kind of streaky.
Yes. Oh boy. On to, speaking of streaky, there's nothing to say about streakiness here. This is a trick-taking game. It's $11,000, 325 backers. Lunar Skyline. Take it away, Mr. Space Game. That is your favorite part of this.
I love space games, as everyone knows. And yeah, I I liked the look of that cover,
I
and I think
like that
that's what drew
logo.
me
I
in.
like how that kind of
Oh yeah,
little skyline thingy is
that is pretty cool. How
absolutely
yeah, it splits
so
it nicely like that. Uh, but yeah, I when I looked at this game, I would not have guessed what kind of game it was.
a
Did you guess
tiny
what game it
game.
was?
I
I did
would
not realize it was tiny.
I thought
First
this was
off, I
going to
did
be a
not realize
huge
that.
game.
What's that?
I thought this was going to be a huge game.
Yeah,
Like
I assumed it was like some
a
city
long.
building, huge
Yeah.
space game. And that is not what it is. It's a very small game, and it is a trick taking game, which I would not have gotten at all from that box cover. And yeah, I it made me think of Cat in a Box a little bit, which is a game I really like a part of it. So I don't know if I'd have the same kind of I don't know if issue is the right word, but the same kind of lackluster scoring at the end of Cat in the Box for each
Yeah.
round. It's not my favorite scoring. This one it felt like it did the same process as Cat in the Box up to I don't know if the scoring would feel different. I don't know.
Yeah, because this
That would
one,
be the only thing I'd be worried about with this one.
yeah, the scoring seemed, I think is it just one round of tricks for a
I
game?
wasn't sure on that either
No.
because yeah, you bid with a card from your hand.
Yep.
It's how many tricks you're gonna win,
Yes.
and then they have these different symbols and stuff, which are kind of suits. If you've ever played a trick taking game before, uh, they're different suits, so you'd have to follow that if you can. Otherwise, you don't play it, and you in this one, it is unique. I guess I don't know that I've ever seen a trick taking game where if you can't follow suit, you take the card and it counts as a trick for you. That is pretty interesting.
That
I
is
don't
cool.
know. I don't know gameplay wise how that will feel, but it
Kind of
is in.
similar to then going to a Trump suit and winning the trick outright, but there is no Trump suit, so you just automatically win it. That is cool. That would
Whereas someone
really,
else wins the trick then too, though.
but yeah, then
So
they
there's
win
like
it too.
multiple people winning the trick in that case. So
It
yeah,
could get crazy at the end.
yeah, that's where I'm not sure, not quite sure how that would actually work in play, but it has me interested. I've really enjoyed some of the trick taking games that I've played over the last few years. So,
Yeah.
and this one feels like it could be unique as well, with those little twists in there. So,
Yeah. So yeah, I think there's room in our collection for more unique trick-taking games, and feels like there's quite a few of them that have been coming out in recent years.
yeah, I guess I don't know how this one would play it. I feel like the worst
Oh
part is
yeah,
I just wish we could find more at two.
yeah,
It's
that's true.
trick taking really. It feels like most trick taking games have a player count that you should play with, and like
Mhm.
all the time. I feel like that's the way most trick taking games are built. Most of them, not all. There are some that you can maybe use different player counts, but
Yeah,
I think most of them kind of it's like, you should probably really play with this many if you want the best experience.
yeah,
I couldn't tell from what they were showing there what the best player count for this one would be, but
yeah.
I would
Probably
guess this one would
higher
probably be
the
three or
better.
four as well.
Yeah. It'll be $16 or 24 if you want to get a deluxe version there, and shipping looking to be, depending on where you are, again, not that bad for us in the lower 48 of the US, only $5. So pretty good.
Yeah, another pretty good priced game.
But we're getting in the home stretch here. Not really, but Earth 2053, which it may be that year by the time we finish this video.
And if Pepper backs us, that may be the year this game delivers.
You're welcome. 13 days to go, 40, I was going to say 48,000 backers, 483 backers, $23,000. Tipping point, Earth 2053. So, Teeter, Viking Seesaw. That's all I got to say about this. That's so you're kind of trying to save the Earth and make things sustainable and not reach the tipping point where you pollute it and it's past the point of no return. and that dramatic shift happens on your table, and everyone starts to cry because they've lost
Yes.
the game.
One could say that may be a little gimmicky, could maybe just be a track, but no.
No, no, no. I do worry. I'm like, is that gonna wear down in any way, or is it? I assume it's gonna be balanced, literally balanced, perfectly
I hope
balanced.
so.
Because yeah,
Yeah,
if
I didn't think
there's
about
any
that.
issues with that, or I don't know, I just feel like something could go wrong with it, even though it's not too complicated. But
Hmm.
that's just one issue. Maybe they have a version or they have it written in there if this breaks or you don't want to use it, just this many triggers that or something. But
All
yeah,
right.
track. But it's a cool little visualization.
It is.
Other than that, I don't know if it really drew me in that much with the gameplay. I feel like there's a lot of it's just card play and symbols and actions and keeping things in check, I assume.
Hmm.
Again, I'm
It
not
made
an
me think
expert.
of the what was the other one we just
Uh,
played recently?
what was that?
The
Not
one that was nominated for awards. Now I'm totally blanking on it.
Harmonies. It's not that one. Daybreak.
It's not Harmony. Daybreak,
Daybreak.
yes. It made me think a little bit of Daybreak.
Yeah.
Um,
The
where
theme.
it was one of those where it's like it's probably fine, but at the same time, I have other card game, have games with a lot of cards in them that I would pick over them.
Yeah, yeah. I would say so as well. But yeah,
At least
I
that's
think
what I was getting from it, but I could be totally wrong.
yeah.
Maybe this one would give those feels.
Hmm. I think there's like a shared kind of grid where you're playing cards
Oh,
out. I
yeah.
did like that idea where you're kind of working together and adding things in there. Whenever there's like a communal, interactive something, it's always a little more interesting than just a single player's tableau. Sometimes I dislike it because people can get involved in my stuff, but I think here you'll be wanting to help each other out, so it should be fine.
That's true. That was probably the biggest point. It made me think of Earth, but with a communal thing.
Oh, yep.
I don't know that it would give that same feel as Earth. It's what it made me think of.
Daybreak plus Earth. Okay, so this version will be at $49. And I don't think there is any deluxe version. There might be add-ons that not look too closely. So pretty good price. And then shipping here for USA would be also pretty good. I guess I don't know what that would be in the US dollars. I assume a
15,
little,
16, 17
yeah,
bucks.
under 20. So another pretty decently priced
Yeah.
game. And
This one's got a really great cover. I like the cover quite a bit. I don't know about you.
I like a lot of the concept of the cover. It looks like a Terraforming Mars expansion, kind of with
It does.
the logos laid out.
If it was called Terraforming Mars Tipping Point, I would believe that it could be Terraforming Mars.
But yeah, it's a good cover. Good cover. Oh, wait, we're almost to our game found games. We're getting there. Ultimate Voyage. Final Quest of the Treasure Fleet. This one I'm like, this was late in the I just opened a bunch of these like 50 projects and this is late in the game and I'm like, just looking for any reason to exit out and be like, okay, let's not include this one, but I was looking at the components, I'm like, oh, this one looks beautiful. And 188 backers. I would think there'd be more backers than that, but
I would
uh,
agree.
188 backers, still $20,000. Definitely successful. But I really love the look of this game. The look of the board is fantastic. The
Hmm.
ships here and kind of even the artwork on the cards. Let's see, what's in the box. There we go. You got a tower that you're building up, which is always a cool gimmick. And I assume you're earning points for that, for your contributions, sailing around the board. I think you can do a little bit of combat, I think, as well, or fighting at some spaces. I
I can't
forget. It
remember. I
could be
think
a
so.
different game here, but I like the artwork for the characters and all the cards, honestly. So this
I
one
agree.
did draw me in, and I do. I'm decently interested in this one, and I thought if Zach's really interested in this one, I ain't putting up a fight if he wants to go crazy. and get this. I don't think I'd get it myself, but
Hmm. Yeah, I might have to look at this one a little bit more. I think the production is amazing on this one as well. Love the artwork and all that. Uh, I didn't look at it too closely. For some reason, it just was like making me think of River of Gold.
oh yeah,
Just because we recently had that and that's got ship sailing. I don't think it's anything like that one, but it was just making me think of that.
yeah,
But I think this one might have a little bit more to it than that one, a little more chunk to it. Uh, but yeah, I think this one looks like it could be really good, and it really shocks me the few number of backers. I don't
yeah.
know if it's the pricing on it. I mean, it is still at 20,000, which makes me think the pricing. I don't remember what that was on this one, but
Oh boy, $74 or 99 or 129 or 149 for all these different versions. Probably want to, I guess, what does the deluxe include here?
unfortunately, it's like just little chunks at
Expansion.
a time.
Yeah, dang it. Might just go the base version and still that's $74. And shipping, come on, keep. Oh no, it doesn't keep it up. That's about $30 at shipping there. Then you're going up over $100 and
I think that's probably what's holding it
shipping.
back a little bit. It's
Yeah,
not that. I mean, I feel like these are the prices we have been seeing.
yeah,
It feels like for a lot of these games, so it's not like this is just crazy out there. But I think it's tough. I think it's tough to compete, especially with. I mean, some of these other ones that are looking really good that we've looked at even this week that are quite a bit cheaper. It's just tough to, a new non-established game
yeah,
that might have things that have kind of already been seen out there. Sell just the base edition for $100. That's
yeah.
a tough sell.
Yeah, that definitely holds it
Like
back.
it's already a tough sell. Like you would go back and look at the City Collection, and that's coming from Stefan Feld, who
Yeah,
is arguably probably one of the most known, most infamous board game designers out there. And I don't remember that was that doing amazing either. I don't remember, but that one was priced pretty high as well. I
one
mean, that's a
was,
hard
well,
sell.
looks like that's got about 200 something thousand backers, or no, 800 backers, 200,000. I'm mixing everything up. It is late. Not actually not that late.
200,000 backers.
Unprecedented.
He is pretty famous.
200,000, over $200,000, over 800 backers. So,
I mean, yeah, that one doesn't even have 1,000, and he's very well known in the board game. I mean, so it's going to be tough to kind of not to say this isn't. I definitely want to play this one, and I feel like this was one I saw a lot of ads on and stuff, and I was like, "Ooh, this looks like it could
yeah.
be pretty good."
So
So maybe I'll have
hopefully,
to dig into it a little bit deeper, but
hopefully get some recognition and
it's tough.
raving reviews, and we can pick it up on some Nerds Day deal in the future.
Exactly, but the 188
Yeah.
backers worries me a little bit on
Don't know if
how
it'll
easy
be
it'll be to get after.
available.
Who
Yeah.
was the publisher?
This one?
First,
It's
that makes it tough too. If they were
okay.
well known, you could maybe rely on that, but
Yeah.
if it's their first creator, then it makes it a little tougher to
Backed three.
for sure.
So that says nothing. On to the last of the Kickstarters. And it is a unique one. This is one that I initially looked at it and I'm like, this would have made me X out immediately. I don't know why. Because if I had thought this was just a board or whatever, and that style didn't draw me in, but I decided to press play on that video. And I found out that this is not just a board, this is like a circuit board, and it's got LEDs, and you're moving around this, and it's pretty much Alien, the movie, or Aliens, whatever you prefer. But it's just a little electronic game that you're playing. This is Echo of the Predator. Run, the alien is hunting you. And I did go through, I forget how long that video was, but I went through the whole thing as they explained, and I went through the different actions, and the robotic voice will say, "You've moved into the kitchen," or "You've made noise, the alien is chasing you." But in a much more haunting, scary, um, robotic voice, which I think is fitting for the kind of being on a spaceship and having this
Hmm.
AI kind of throughout the ship. It's obviously a very, I think this guy does computers. Obviously, he's really good at them. It does worry me. I'm like, oh, something's gonna easily go wrong with this, but I mean, especially if you just have any random person like me, I'm clumsy. I'm gonna hit something. I'm gonna drop something. Something's gonna get in there. It's probably a lot more safe than I'm imagining, but I'm just imagining a lot of things could go wrong with it. But a
Mhm.
unique thing to have, I think.
Yeah, I didn't think we put this one on the list, so I did
That's
not
what I
look at
got.
it. I will have to look at that. Sounds interesting now to me because yeah, I looked at that. I thought that was the box. I'm like, I don't know what this is. I am turned off by it, but that does sound very interesting. So I'm gonna have to look at that. But
Hey,
yeah, I would be very worried for the same reasons as you listed there or said there. It just seems like something that could have like I'm not someone that's like, oh, it's got apps and
yeah,
it's not going to be able to be used. But something like this, I think, is another level.
yes,
Just is a little makes me a little bit more nervous.
yeah. I think this should be an app, but I feel like it would
Probably
work
make more
well
sense.
there. But yeah, this I don't know. It just gives that kind of feel of like just a little handheld Yahtzee or like 20 questions little game, just something that you can have. It just feels different having it physically in your hand versus on your phone screen.
That's true.
Something unique. And it was under the board games and Board Game Geek, even though I was like, this is not a board game. This is something totally different. But it was cool, and we got another something similar coming up next that I was like, I gotta put these back to back. But the price as well is decently high, as expected. So if you want
Hmm.
it, so you just no speakers. So you plug headphones into it, which they say, yeah, that's pretty good if you're playing it solo. That's going to be 61 bucks. Otherwise, there's international, no speakers, and then with speakers would be up to 83 bucks. And I'm not sure what the shipping was, but a little too expensive for something that, one, I don't know how replayable it's going to be, if it just does have built-in kind of different scenarios. They say there's a lot of different endings, but I'm like, how many is that actually? And is
All
it
right.
actually going to feel like a good game, or is it just a cool thing to have in your house to show people?
All right.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
it could be good. Is it actually estimated delivery December 2024?
that is what it says, December 2024, which I think he said that I assume he doesn't have all of them made. He might have them all made, but
Hmm.
um,
Cool.
yeah, so
It's gonna be
cool
a quick
stuff.
turnaround.
Yeah, for sure. And then, like that last one, this one also has a bit of an electronic board. The Bad Karmas and the Curse of Cthulhu. I don't know what the Bad Karmas is. Apparently, it's a pre-existing series or IP or something. I don't know what it is, but they are going against Cthulhu now. So not your average investigators investigating the Great One, not the Rock, Cthulhu. But
And
yeah,
this one's doing pretty well.
that is over 1,000 backers, over 307,000. I got those ones straight. Didn't mix those up. But this one, kind of the first thing that I saw here was this glowing base on Cthulhu. I'm like, what is going on here? What have board games turned into? The purists are rolling over in their graves and their beds, the ones who are not dead.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, oh boy, what's going on there with these lights on these monsters?
Yes.
It kind of caught my attention. Otherwise, it made me think of Cthulhu Death May Die, except for
Yeah.
that one piece.
A lot of it did feel like Cthulhu Death May Die. And I think this company made another one, like a Milan Uprising, I think it was called, something like that. It was a vampire themed one with this electronic board and these minis with little chips in their bases and chips inside the dice and app integration. So like you roll the dice and the app knows what you rolled. It knows where you are. And it'll just automatically pop something up on the screen for the result, which I thought, okay, well, it's almost video game at that point, but I think that's I think that's kind of the sweet spot, I think, as far as it
Mhm.
should go, where it is just like immediately telling you the result of something, making it easy for you while not actually removing the board presence.
I agree. I think that is right on the edge, probably about perfectly on the edge of yeah, whether it just goes straight up to being more of a video game.
Yes, yes. So a bunch of different bundles here for what you want. Get a collector pledge with the Teberu, which that's the system, I guess they say, with this electronic board bundle. I'm not sure exactly what's in there. That's hundreds, but the core pledge for the game will be at 75. So it does not include the Teberu hardware required to play. So I think maybe if you have it on a uh previous backing, I assume that must be what it is. Maybe just the electronic
Hmm.
board or something. Must be able to use it in a future one, I think, and maybe just plug something new in. I don't know how it works, but core pledge, a bunch of different levels for whatever you want. These are all looking identical to each other. Adding some more in there, getting
It's
more
more and more
expensive.
money.
But yeah, so a lot there. But it does feel like next level Cthulhu Death May Die, bringing in the apps, bringing in the phones, because a lot of it did seem like they talk, you're going crazy, you're getting uh, more insane and more powerful, and you're
Mhm.
battling Cthulhu. A lot of the miniatures, like I was recognizing some of the great ones, like Haster, whatever. I'm like, oh, it's that one. It's like looks identical to the model in Cthulhu Death May Die. And I'm like, feels like that to me, which makes it more interested in it, but then also less because I already have that.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, I like the look of this. I think it's a lot of money, and it just feels like I think this is where could see kind of like that other one, maybe a little bit more concern about the electronic system of it and whether or not how well that will work. I guess I don't know if anyone has any history with other ones that these people have made
Yeah, I
that
think
have that, if
we
they've
covered
actually
that.
played them. I don't know if they've been available
I
yet.
don't
I
know if
don't.
they have been available. I could look at it quick. But yeah, you talk about some stuff. I'll try to see if I can
Yeah,
see
that's where
something.
I'd like to see that this has worked in previous games, worked well, not had like major issues. Obviously, I think anything tech, you have the possibility of having some issues. But yeah, it would just be interesting to know if it worked and it worked really well. Then that would definitely have me on board a little bit more. Otherwise, I think I'm still a little hesitant. I think I'd have to see it actually work well. Um,
I'm not sure.
what
821.
are the people commenting? That's how you
Yeah,
find out.
that is how you get it. You get the Mike C's giving it to you straight. Um, goodness, you got things going, but I think the update feed should be about what we signed up for. Update on this project. So it looks like they maybe haven't delivered that yet. People asking for some
That's
updates.
that's something to note when backing this one, just in case. 'Cause, yeah, especially with this kind of technology based. I don't know. Yeah, I think we looked at that one probably been about a year ago now,
Yeah,
right?
I
So
think so.
there's always a little worry with that stuff, and then yeah, the fact that they've got another one kind of using the same, always
Yeah,
get a little worried, especially with these kind of price tags that we're seeing on these things.
yes, yeah. But it does look flashy, and I like this aspect of it that he has four sides to him, and they can be either in different states, either vulnerable
Mhm.
red, where you're like, I want to attack his butt, his booty over there, because there's an opening there that we can
It
do
is
some more
exposed.
damage. Uh, yeah, so I'm pretty interested in this and any game with this. I would like to try it on this electronic board and really see
Hmm.
how much that can elevate a game like this. But
I would
probably would
agree.
want to try it at some convention or something, not actually pull the trigger on such a price. And
Yeah.
where is the shipping? I guess where is shipping in game found? Is that usually a set? There it is. right in front of
Right there. Right there.
I mean, it might be a little, I guess. It depends what version you get, very much.
Yeah.
But this lower version, it's about average for nowadays, what we're used to. Not average for today. That's pretty high for today.
Right.
We've been spoiled. So,
We have been
yeah,
spoiled.
looking forward to seeing more of that about it.
I agree.
Oh boy, and then GRINIVIL, you want to live here. Seems a little forceful. You want to live here. I don't.
I thought that was an interesting title.
But this is kind of, well, so 17,222 backers, almost 2 weeks to go. Rado absolutely is insane for this game. He loves it. He's got quotes in the video. He's got quotes down here. I'm a bit split. See the
I
cover?
thought the video on this one was a little weird.
Yeah, I think it
Like,
was.
did they ever actually go into gameplay?
I don't know if they
It was
did.
a longer video, and it just kind of kept being kind of strange and weird. And I was like, okay, I'm really interested in the look of this one, but I couldn't really tell what was going on or the gameplay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on gameplay. I think BGG, Brothers Murph, one of the brothers, did a how to play video. I got a little bit into that, but did not actually watch the whole thing. But just look-wise, like the cover does not attract me to the game whatsoever.
No.
But if we
And the
do see
name,
the game, the name there as well. But then when you see this board, and you can see that those are 3D houses and trees, and I'm like, oh, this is what every kind of city or neighborhood building game should look like. It just looks
yes,
fantastic. Great toy factor, and what more can you ask for as a shallow gamer?
exactly. I love the look of this game, but yeah, from that cover, if I saw that at the store, I would never have guessed like, oh yeah, this is what the game's gonna look like. It's gonna look like a great production and trees and houses and stuff. I I don't know. I don't know where that kind of flash is coming from, but
Yeah,
I
I'm not
guess
sure. It does have kind of a little bit of a funky vibe to it.
yeah, true.
Maybe with that video too. So that might be kind of what they're going for here, but very interesting. And this as well, like that's a four-sided die right there. And I don't know if I've seen that before, and I don't know how it would roll. But why is every four-sided die not like that? That's what it should be,
I
not
don't
those
know.
stupid pyramids that don't roll. I mean, it's got to roll better than that.
I would sure think so. But there's only one way to find out.
Only one way. Got to back this. But yeah, it looks really cool. Love the components. And Rado was talking how this is just felt very innovative, very new, something different. I didn't get all the way into the gameplay to really see what it was. That really felt so crazily awesome and different, but you can take his word for it, you know. I've never been disappointed by any games that I heard him hype up in my life. They're usually pretty good. So a deluxe version will be around 60 there, so maybe 60 to 70 bucks American. A little bit more if you want the deluxe with a bonus pack of something. And whatever
You
that
don't
is.
want to know what they're packing in there.
And you got some add-ons. You got another game, I think, from this company. I don't know what that game is like. Or another game. Maybe I'm not really drawn in by any of these covers, so
They are not making very appealing covers at all.
not for
I'm
us.
sorry. Well, maybe I'm sure there are people that like it out there, but that is not my style of cover. But yeah, if it would
Um,
have been, beige, fully dedicated to that Euro style, and then had
what
all that
color
pieces
out
in there,
of
I'd love it.
it. Not to be. And shipping is not too bad as well.
Yeah,
Just getting the deluxe, it'll be 13 to 24. So not too bad. I am
that's what
pretty
I want to look
interested
into a little bit more.
based on those components. And mostly just for that four-sided die for science.
Not a bad price for one of those.
Then we go on to Rumble Planet, which, I mean, here's the draw here, a big T-Rex mech. I mean, what more could you want? 3D terrain and a T-Rex mech miniature in a battle royale. It's got almost 100,000, 723 backers, 7 days to go. But this one actually didn't. There's a lot. It seems like there's been a lot of 3D terrain. We got some more coming up later, and a lot of those games, and kind of a lot of battle royale games in the past few years. I mean, not a lot, but
Hmm.
a lot that we've covered here.
Right.
And just like at this point, I don't know if it's really doing anything to draw me in specifically to this one, sadly.
Yeah, that was the unfortunate part. I liked the look of that board, the kind of grids, and then yeah, the different elevations, and then yeah, some of those miniatures looked really cool. But outside of that, I was like, I don't know that it's like really pulling me in, for yeah, Rumble battle royale kind of game. I don't know. It's probably good, but yeah, like you said, there have been many of them, and I feel like these probably would all play better at higher player counts.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the same, but we've got Unmatched that we have to bring up multiple times in every video, regardless of
Yeah.
whether or not there's a project in there. Uh, and yeah, we tend to play at 2 or 3 players, so I think we just go to that for a battle game. Obviously, this one different does not play like Unmatched, I don't think.
No.
So
No. And if we want a battle royale, we are in the process. We are working on a battle royale version of Unmatched. So stay tuned if we ever figure that out and it's not 5 hours long and we can post a video on it.
exactly.
But yeah, this at least something about this. I do think this seems a little more approachable than some of the other battle royale systems.
Hmm.
But yeah, it kind of hovered on the prices before, so if you didn't see it, go back and look at it. Shipping, 24 US dollars or up to maybe 35.
Now
So
we're back into the spendies.
back up there. Disappointing. Disappointing.
Spoiled early on.
And another one with 3D terrain, one that you thought to remove from this list, and I initially was in the same boat as I started the video and I was watching it. I'm like, I don't know about that. But then as it got going, I think they had some maybe joke in the video that made me laugh, like with something they said. I forget what it was now, so I'll have to rewatch it and live that great moment over again. And then I got a little more interested, and then as it's going, I'm like, oh, this looks really cool. This is The Maniac, which it is kind of a slasher theme, so fitting for Halloween. It was Halloween now. Now it's past midnight for both of us, but it was Halloween today, and so it's fitting to have some horror themed games here. This is over 2,000 backers, almost 279,000 funded here, and it looks like they've done some horror themed games before. And this is deluxe pledge when you get the 3D terrain and all of that. So, I mean, to really add to it, I think that does add quite a bit to it to really make it feel like a house with the different floors and rooms. But something cool about this was you kind of go into it and you discover a mask. So you can play where one of you is the killer from the start, or you can just go and search, and then one of you will pick up a mask and put it on, and it'll curse you and make you go mad, and you will then be the killer. And I think it can even switch, and someone can knock it off of you and put it on themselves, and then they become the killer. And I'm like, that seems cool. It feels like a movie, actually like a movie where it's not just, I don't know, it just feels a little more natural than some of the games. But they say there's a double hidden movement aspect to it, and the killer's drawing on his board, and other people are placing face down like action tokens of what they're doing. And I just felt like that wasn't going to be nearly as smooth as I wanted it to be. So then it lost me a little bit, and I don't think I will be going in on it. But the theme, and especially these little 3D bed and drawer and chest, in the movie, they make a noise and they hide in the room. And when you do that and replicate that in this game, you put your miniature under one of these three things, or however many things they say are in the room, and then the killer player has to choose one of them to open. And if they choose you, you're screwed. But you could get away. And I'm like, that's a nice little game to put in there. But no, just looked like a few cool, unique things in this. Could even get a glow in the dark box if you want it.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't like immediately out on this one, but yeah, just as it was going on, I was a little like, I don't know about a double blind,
yeah,
whatever. I was like, I don't know how that'll work, but yeah, I was really worried on that not feeling smooth, just like you said. And then, yeah, just it made me think of, I haven't played it, but Betrayal, what is it,
yeah.
Betrayal House on the Hill or whatever that one's called. Because isn't that like partway through the game, someone turns into whatever is the
Yes. Yeah.
So that's kind of what it made me think of, but maybe this one would be. I've always been kind of a little afraid to do that one because it seems, I don't know, tough. Maybe it
Yeah.
isn't. Maybe in my head I've just always imagined that. This one seems like it may be more approachable than that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
I
did
can
like
see.
it. I like the theme, but I don't know. Having one person turn partway through the game, I think that's something that doesn't really excite me in games.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I suppose if you're going in it for that style of game, that probably would feel pretty cool and thematic.
Yeah. But yeah, so the different pledges go all in special, whatever, 144, basic standard edition for 60, and get the 89, 90 bucks there. Various levels. So looking forward to see if this does ease some of the worries that people say it does actually work and flow pretty well. Well, I probably hope it doesn't, because then there's no risk of me
You'll be
dropping
tempted.
all the money and actually getting this and maybe playing it once a year, because we do have a hidden movement game. We have a couple. We have Jaws and Sniper Elite, and I think that's probably enough for our collection. I could probably use some more, but I don't think the
Mind
group as a
management.
whole is. Oh yeah, Mind Management. Have not played that one, so we do have three. And shipping is another 25 to 30, so probably not gonna get it, but it deserved to be on the list.
I'll give it to you.
What is the pick for Kickstarter? Kickstarter is made for. I don't know if we even said it yet. I guess we only have one left. Is it
No,
Avatar
it isn't this.
Journey of Aang, as it is correctly pronounced in the M.
Aang.
Shyamalan movie? This one draws me in on the theme. I did recently binge this in the last couple of years, and I enjoyed the show. Not as much as a lot of people, but I did grow to really like the characters, and some of the animation as well. It was pretty cool. It's got a big fan base. I would think could be doing maybe a little better than that. I guess I don't know. I felt like I've seen Avatar games recently in the past few years. I was confused
Hmm.
when I saw this. I'm like, is this not out yet? I
Yeah,
guess.
I feel like I've seen them and they all look the same, and I don't know which are which. And like, there's like a role playing one and stuff, and it makes me very confused. So I feel like I just have kind of always like shied away from it because I just kind of assume they're all like role playing games. And I was like, well, it's not my style of game. I do like the theme probably more than you. I really enjoyed it. I watched it way back in the
Yeah,
day,
he's an OG.
and I told him he would like this Pepper. And he never watched it.
And I'm like,
And
hey,
then he finally watches it later, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm going through the whole." I'm like, "Wow!"
you
When
ever,
I say it, he don't even watch.
you ever heard of this show, Zach? Yeah, 1,700 backers, $176,000. About $100 a pledge, it seems. It does
Dice Builder.
seem a little bit, ooh, Dice Builder, a little bit on the luck side there. I like when games do this, when they have like a layout of kind of what it's geared towards. If you can actually trust it every time, I don't know.
Yeah,
This
who's
is, they'll have
determining that?
like fun, 10 out of 5. And I'll be like, okay, you just threw the whole legitimacy of this ranking out the window.
That's true.
But yeah, this one, first off, what cover do you prefer? The regular or deluxe version?
Ooh,
I initially was like, why would they remove all the cool colors and stuff when you go to the more
Yeah.
expensive version? But it's grown on me the past 3 minutes.
I might like the first one or the original a little bit more. I don't know.
I
It
guess,
kind of I can't really tell. It kind of feels like the background of the other one doesn't quite
yeah,
work. I don't know why.
yeah, it's kind
I
of,
get what it's
I
doing,
don't
but for
know.
some reason it doesn't feel like it quite works.
Yeah, yeah, I like this one. You kind of get a little bit of every element in there as well.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I'm interested in the theme, and I would think this could be a good campaign game, but I don't believe it is a campaign game. It is just a regular game there. The map just makes me think of Ethnos every time I see it, which I don't know if that's a compliment, but
That's true. Now that you say it, it does very much make me think of Ethnos. And whether or not that's a compliment, you guys will know if you've played Ethnos.
yes. But they're kind of locked into kind of an art style, and
That's true.
it is fitting for kind of the show and what it looks like there. If you were to turn it into a board game, and you can get different upgrades. If you get the deluxe version, you can get pay a little more, get painted Appa there, which I think that's the biggest draw of the whole game is that miniature. A bunch
Everyone's
of
gonna love that one.
custom dice if you get, I believe, the deluxe. I'm not sure what they look like regularly, but say an upgrade is these beautifully engraved, which I think is really cool. Pretty
They
much
look
the
really cool.
game, you're kind of pushing your luck and moving along the spaces, and I think it must be pushing the luck by how far you're willing to go from your previous kind of save point where you stopped. And then kind of, I think, doing dice checks based on trying to hit a certain number based on how much you've leveled up the certain cards. I think you rotate these, kind of upgrade them to then they could be like a 3 or something like that, or else mastered and then turn into like a permanent point that you have, or whatever it is. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it looked cool how you were upgrading, and the goal is to get to, I think, 10 value or be able to defeat the Fire Lord with 10 in each um, element, or possibly 13 if he powers up. So
Mm-hmm.
it seemed cool, maybe a little, I think, a little light, maybe, possibly, and a little simpler. But if I go into it knowing that, I could see myself having a good time.
Yeah, that is the tough thing when you're using that type of IP. You don't want to make a game and then have it be strategy. Although I guess with Stranger Things, Simon, I would say that. I mean, it's not heavy strategy, but it is
That
pretty freaking tough.
that is a
It's a tough
trap game
game.
right
So
there.
I mean, if you're just a fan of Stranger Things, you're not really into modern board games, and you pick that up, I think you could be a little disappointed.
That is a trap sitting there at Target or wherever it is. Pick it up. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. It'll make you feel like
Nasty.
you're in the upside down. That's for sure.
It's Tozawa levels of nasty.
But yeah, the prices, I mean, I guess it depends what you think of the look of the game. It's pretty good price for usual things that they call deluxe editions at $80 or
Yeah.
45 for the regular version. And shipping would be about 16 to 20, so also not that bad.
Yeah.
So I'm interested. I'm waiting probably to see what people think, but I think we
Mhm.
all in the group do like the show. So
Yeah.
even if it's not overly well received, as long as it's not terrible, I could see getting this.
Yeah. I would agree. And I think with the IP, they're probably hopefully going to have it. I think what is it, Crowd or Crow D Games? I think they've done other ones before. I guess I don't know if they're
Yeah.
usually available after the fact, but I would think they would be in this case.
Oh, yep.
Because this one's more one. It seems like more of one where you could try to sell it to more of a broad audience, that like we said, like a Target or something. At
Mm,
least maybe not the upgraded version, but at least
yeah.
that original version.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know what my pick of the week. It might be one of the first, the mixtape or the Tend by Ivy
Ten,
Studios.
I think my top two were Tend and Mutagen.
Oh,
One of
maybe.
those two would be I think,
Amigo.
my pick of the week.
Yeah, I would say one of the first two then. Mike Delicio Delight or the super epic mega flip and scratch and roll and write
And
from Mega
Sniff.
Studios and Sniff. No Sniff. They made that very clear.
Oh, dang it. Maybe the expansion,
Yeah.
if they ever get one. But yeah, that is all the projects for today. That's a lot of them. We'll be back in a couple weeks with probably as many more. Who knows? Maybe even more than that. But yeah, if you've made it this far, we really appreciate it. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, so that you can see future ones of these. And like we said, let us know in the comments below if you are backing any of these, if you are backing something else that we maybe didn't look at that you think based on what we've liked out of these ones that we'd maybe like on there. Not saying we're gonna back it because I think we've been overall pretty good about not backing games.
Yeah.
But more of a problem for me, I think, than Pepper. But
I've learned my
that's just because Pepper's been burned pretty badly. He hasn't even backed that many. That's the worst part.
3, 4, 4 or 5, I think.
And I think so far I've been pretty lucky. I mean,
yeah.
Obviously I've had some that are late, but not late as yours. So, otherwise, we hope to see you on our future videos. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on our content.